Hellos, welcomes everyone, AnthWolf here with more Pillars of Eternity. Beginning another day, beginning another session. We'll probably do 2 or 3 videos this session, see how tired I am. It's been a long day at work. But yeah, in the previous part of Pillars of Eternity, we were in Halfsong, one of the first districts of the Glenfarthing tribes, and we learned more about their tribes and their culture, basically. We spoke to one of the leaders, Bethwl, who gave us permission to travel to Elm's Reach and Oldsong, basically anywhere in the Twin Elms. We're probably going to go to Elm's Reach now to go speak to some of the primordials within one of the trees. I'm guessing this might be the tree here, where basically we found out that we're guessing Thaos infiltrated one of their towers. And basically we're on his trail. We also have 2 side quests to go to North World here. One for someone who supports the Dozens, the Deerodians, and another to find out what happened to a tribesman at Glenfarthing who went missing, never returned from a blood hunt, I believe it was called. So yeah. As always, we're probably going to poke our head around Elm's Reach, see who we can speak to actually around the area first. And we'll go from there. Let's have a sip of juice while the loading screen's here. Okay. Let's see if we can insert some energy into this playthrough. Probably not, but I could try and fake it at least. So let's have a look here. We have the Halfsong district, the Oldsong district, we have a Glenfarthing home. We have 3 Glenfarthing homes next to us. The Golden Grove, which leads off somewhere. The Hall of Warriors, the Blood Sands, and of course then Teir Evron, which is where we need to go. We'll have a wander around first, see who we can speak to. We know the Glenfarthings really don't like outsiders, and apparently they don't like jests, so we're going to have to be careful who we speak to and how we speak to them.
Sure.
But I'm endlessly curious. Great Lioness has grown old, and no longer has claim over the secret lair. Dark Omen. Even that Delemgan could not stop him. He's just a man, powerful, but just a man. I guess they're discussing Thaos's entrance into the keep. Into the tower, I should say. Keep using tab to see if there's anyone with a unique name. Actually, let's see if we can talk to this this worried huntress. The Glenfarthing woman stares at the ground, her bushy eyebrows frown in a straight line. Never before has a man slipped past with so much ease. A sign. A dark sign. An elven man waves his hand in an arc over the ground. It has come to pass. We couldn't have foreseen it. The Lemgan could not either. The huntress shakes her head. And what does that tell us? Outsider, excuse us, we are not used to your kind here under the great trees. If we can assist you, we will. Well, you were discussing this man. What can you tell me about him? Not Glenfarthing. Broke into the tower here in Elm's Reach. Nobody saw him come. Not even the Delemgan. He moved in silence, like a Stilgar in the shadows. Our hunters caught no scent until it was too late. But we heard the stones crack. When he stepped inside Teir Evron. Dark Omen, I say this. Stones cracking? What did he do in the tower? Sungun had to ask. About these Delemgan, we fought them before, but what are they exactly? They are ancient children of the giant elms. Our people have lived with the 2 sisters in peace, since we arrived hundreds of years ago. The Lemgan call us friends. We call them our own kin, our protection, their wisdom. Together we share a strong bond. They have always lived under the shadow of the great elms. Walk until you cross the stream. There you'll find the Lemgan sisters. Thank you. And we have another note. Yeah, they told us we can find the sisters under the giant trees of Elm's Reach, which again we know is over here. Okay, excellent. Bit more information. This leads us to Old Song, I believe it is. Yeah. Let's go to the Hall of Warriors then. We probably won't be allowed in, but it's always worthwhile trying our luck. Oh, what's this? Blood moss. Okay. Hope that wasn't for anyone. Make yourself useful. You're within a half now. Very kind of you. Let's quick save. The Hall of Warriors, eh? Oh! Oh! Offering! And that's when I pierced the giant stego with my spear, right through its heart. Oh, Offering, I wish I could have seen you do it. Me too, and maybe. Later you can show us how you used your big spear. Ho ho ho. Oh, well, yes, I can do that. Let's have a word with you and get your, your thoughts on the subject. A lanky hunter grooms his stubble, a patched fuzz of blonde hairs, while listening attentively to a young elven woman. She whispers in his reddened ears and giggles. With his head still lowered, he flashes a wide smile in return. He notices you. He clears his throat and strains his back, adopting an air of dignity. I've been expecting you. My tribesmen have told me you're to speak the truth about Thorm's exile. Well, Offering doesn't hide from the truth. Ask and I'll answer. Tell me about your tribe. We're young, the youngest tribe in Eaglan faith, but we're not weak. The other tribes have their history, and now we, the Tri-Split Arrows, are making our own. We're true Glenfarthans, true hunters. I've proven our worth. It was me, not Thorm, who killed the giant Stegar. Or Stelgear. I'm going to pronounce that word wrong. I apologise if I'm always doing it. It's just what pops into my head. I'm not even staring at the word properly, to be perfectly honest. It's probably Stelgear? Giant panthers, there you go. So what can you tell me about what happened to the other hunter, Fiorm? He looks down and licks his lips. Fiorm. Every tribe knows his prowess, a hunter of great name. But this time, he fell behind. We spotted a giant panther on the Sentinel's Ridge above the waterfall of the Northweld. It was stalking for prey. Fiorm wanted us to split. He'd lure the beast to the river and I'd flank it. But the beast didn't come down to the riverbank, so we tried to circle it on the ridge. I climbed faster, and there it was, ready to pounce on me. I pierced flesh mid-air, rolled over and stabbed it again and again. And it was dead. Fiorm couldn't believe he didn't earn the kill, not even a cut. He said he'd not return with the shame of losing to a Tri-Split Arrow. I pleaded, but he was Keeper of Stone. He'd not listen, and now he's exiled. Who knows where? Oh. Well, he could be telling the truth. I mean, maybe, well, the hunters, the Glenfarthans do take themselves rather seriously. At the mercy of the oh no, it's not that one. It's Hunter Brother. Offering claims that Fiorm exiled himself in shame after failing to kill the giant panther in the blood hunt. And obviously Radai, the brother of Fiorm, believes that Offering, a member of the lower tribe, is lying for his own gain. Can we walk into the Hunter's Lodge? We can. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll pop our head in and see what's going on. So we have 3 tusks here, which are another tribe member. I think we can unlock these chests without being annoying.
A simple test.
So we might as well. We get actually experience for doing it. Seamock. Oh! Come to treat with a tree tusk. The 3 tusks Stelgar. Seamock's name is familiar. Apparently, if he was here in this chamber, in the Passage of 6, was it called? The tribal chieftain hut. Our discussion or permission would have been a bit more awkward. Why? I don't know. Let's speak to this Seamock and see what he has to say.
What brings you here?
A grizzled old elf, his hair braided and dyed, stands at one end of the hall. His arms and chest are cross-hatched with pale seams of scars. His crooked smile looks like another. It's not many outsiders who are permitted into our sacred city. Bethwl must be feeling especially soft today. Ada pays no attention to the elf, but instead has locked eyes with the panther in front of him. He whispers to you. Do you think he'd mind if I pet his panther? Sigourney lowers her head. Remember how that worked out last time? Come to hear your future, Teir Evron. He smiles. His smile widens, exposing a row of yellowed crooked teeth. Or to make your own at the blood sands. What are the blood sands exactly? An ancient place of sacrifice, in a cave by the great elms themselves. Riston and his druids have been an integral part of Glenfarthran society for generations. No matter what some of the other tribes might say, Eaglan faith has held its own against the outsiders because some of us still understand the power of sacrifice. Does the thought make you uncomfortable? It should. It's what's kept our society alive for so long. You don't seem fond of us outsiders. I fought in the broken stone wall and the war of the black trees. I saw my brethren cut down defending the place of the builders, and I shed blood alongside Galven Regard himself. Now the outsiders seem to think that they will find a cure for their empty children among our sacred sites. Or worse, that they will find sanctuary in our lands. And I've seen what happens when they set their sights on Glenfarthran soil. From what we've seen, those sacred sites might actually have a cure. They protect those sites because someone told them to. You wish just once they'd had the courage to question it. Isn't there room for you both? In 200 years, Defiance Bay and New Haemor have outgrown their crooked cobblestones. They rupture and reek like bloated corpses. No, inviting them into our lands would be the end of us. In my 250 years, I've led my people through 2 wars. Our borders have remained intact, and largely through the reputation of the 3 Tusk Panthers. I've sired a dozen children, but none have deemed fit to take my place. I care nothing for the legacies that obsess the outsider lords, but it is important that my successor continue this path. So, is your role hereditary? Not entirely. We believe that the souls of our ancestors come back to us, that a strong soul may bear many more, but all souls must be tested by our elders. The Riau looked first among my children for a successor, but their souls were weak. Ordinarily they would turn to others in my tribe, to clan heads and their families. Ordinarily. But we share a tradition of fostering the children of other tribes, and the Aman faith of Fisher Crane has trusted his youngest to my care. And as none of my own blood are fit to take my place, the Riau will look next to this bog child, the kin of another Aman faith and my foster daughter, to take my place. Why did you call her your bog child? I have nothing but respect for Fisher Crane, but their ways are not ours. The Orlands of Fisher Crane have lived in Fein Bog for 1,000 years. They are cunning and furtive by nature, which serves them well when they have swamplands to hide their movements. But this will not deter the outsiders on open ground. In my experience, as soon as someone in power decides he wants something that doesn't belong to him, there's no deterring at all. Seamock points at the warriors gathered near the fire. Our savagery has deterred the outsiders from further encroachment. They still tell of our deeds in the broken stone wall. But if a child of Fisher Crane leads our tribe, we will lose that boldness, and the outsiders will lose their fear of us. The child will be influenced by the souls of her ancestors. In times of crisis, she will look to her kin in Fean Bog for guidance. No matter what I might try to teach her, it will not be enough. There is a way you could help, if you could steel your soft heart to do something difficult, but necessary. Go on. This Orlan girl has the soul of a leader. If it were passed to one of my own offspring, our tribe would remain strong. A panther at Seamock's side scratches his massive head on the Amman Faith's leg. He remains steady on his feet. The Druids of Bloodsands have a way to do this. They understand the importance of a strong line of succession for Free-Tusk Panther. So all we have to do is steal a baby's soul? What's the catch? There's a home in southeast Halfsong next to the river. The child will be asleep. I have arranged for her to be unattended for a time. Take her and bring her to the Keeper Wader in Bloodsands. She knows what must be done. When she presents you with the liquid essence, bring it back to me. This sounds really bad. What will Keeper Wader do with the child? Have you seen the rituals of Bloodsands? She will sacrifice her. It is the only way to distill her essence. Alof's eyes bulge. Fie. I'd rather distill this odd bone bag into a right fine paste. I don't see why you need me to do this. I mean, you've got plenty of savage warriors around you. Because I cannot do it without attracting undue attention. I don't relish passing my own burdens on to another, but this will incite war between our tribes if I am caught. No, we won't. I won't do this, I apologise, but I'm not going to be doing your dirty work for you. If you want to do it, get your own hands dirty. I do not relish the deed, but 2 centuries of leadership have taught me all things bear a cost. Consider it well, outsider. I am not above rewarding those who are of service. Yeah. No, we won't be doing that. Hello? A young man approaches you with a swift, purposeful stride. While you've never met this man before, he has the same stern, wild look as Seamock. He doesn't speak until he's right next to you, and when he does, his voice is quiet. Wait, I saw you speaking with my father. What's this about? He asked you to sacrifice Vela, hasn't he? Maybe he's right about Free-Tusk Panther growing weak, but if this is the price of strength, it isn't worth it. The tribes have survived this long because we've stuck together. I would never hurt the child. I've actually told him no. He sighs. You did not seem like one who would, but my father will find someone who will. He doesn't give up on an idea easily, but there may be a way to stop him. There's a herbalist among the Ovits of the Golden Grove, Belda. That's her name. They'll all gather southeast of here by the river. She could brew a poison. Seamock won't know the difference until it's too late. There's the family resemblance. You want me to murder your father? No, but it's better than allowing him to murder this child. And then, let me guess, if your father dies, you're next in line? It's not like that. The Rio have already determined that my soul isn't strong enough. Whoever follows my father, it won't be me. Why not just return the child to her birth parents? It's complicated. A child sent to be fostered by another tribe isn't allowed to return. Unfortunately, explaining that we're shielding her from my father would make matters much worse for both tribes. There's an easier way. Oh no, actually, I was going to say let's not suggest that. I've got to think about this. I hope you do not have. I hope you don't have to think too hard about it. I'm warning you now, outsider. Don't go anywhere near Vela. I'm my father's son in one regard, anyway. Okay, we have a new mission. Sacrificial bloodlines. Yeah. Seamok's son, Lyris, confronted me about his father's plan. He asked me to poison Seamok instead. I can obtain a suitable poison from Belda, one of the ovates of the Golden Grove. And the plot ever thickens. Have another sip of juice while it's loading. So the Blood Sands are an area of sacrifice. We probably should check that place out just because it sounds interesting. But between sacrificing a child and poisoning the guy who suggested it, well, you kind of know the option I'm going to go for. Even if I said I was going to think about it, well, if you've come this far in the series, first of all, congratulations. I mean, this is a long series. On the other side, of course, you've probably got an idea of my personality right now in this game. At least how I'm playing the character. Belta, hello. Let us quick save and then speak to yourself.
Hail, Estremor.
An elf holds a chipped wooden pipe. The sweet smoke wafting from the bowl makes you dizzy. Welcome, outsider. I've got herbs and potions for sale. Looking for something to ease your travels? Or something to make them more interesting? Yeah, sure. Let me see your stocks. A flask of war paint. Plus 15 accuracy, plus 10% damage. Ooh. Hi, I will take all of them. Potions of mage, not so much. Potions of iron skin? Not, Potions of power. Is there anything of interest here? Golden celery I don't think I have much of. Jasper I don't think I have much of. Or turquoise for that matter. Oh, 5th rack brains, I will take them as well as the ogre blood. The binding copper. And the dank spores. I think the rest I have plenty of. And the emerald and the sapphire are a bit too well. Tell you what, we'll take them anyway. $30, $35, 37 lockpicks, holy hell. I wonder if we'll ever get a use for them now. What is Durance's mechanics? 10? 9. Reasonable.
Yeah.
I hear you can make certain poisons, Belta. Poisons? I only deal in tonics that heal and enlighten. Of course, many beneficial substances can be harmful when taken in great quantities. But that's just Wraithra's way of keeping all things in balance. Really? What kind of substances? She leans back against a winding tree trunk and ticks the items off on her fingers. Oh, there's plenty. concentrated carogolen, undistilled spider venom, rotten blood moss extract, cave coral mixed with skein bone. Ooh. What's going to happen with any of these? Let's take the fourth one. Actually, I have a D20 here. 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, and 16 to 20. Yeah, I think that works. Let's see. And that is 19. So I need a mixture of cave coral and skein bone. She stops counting and scratches her head. What would you want something like that for? Well, my friend's panther is dying, and he wants to ease the creature's passing. She frowns, her teeth clamped around the pipe. Poor thing. Here, take this. It works slowly, but this will send him back to the cycle kindly enough. Just see that it doesn't get misplaced. Half that dose would kill an Amora. I feel bad. I kind of just lied to her. Do I have actually a point in deception? I don't. I'm kind of surprised. Really, I'm thinking we should probably go over the Blood Sands next. To find out what the vial, the sacrificer? Is that the right term? Would use, but we'll try and just trick Simok. Try and trick him first, and if that succeeds, then we don't need to worry about anything. And if it fails, then we'll go to the Blood Sands and see what else we can do. So this is a very slow acting poison, but it's quite peaceful. Seema crosses his arms over his scarred chest. Well, we could be honest. But no. Here is the potion you asked for. Something's wrong. What are you trying to give me? This is distilled essence. Really? Yeah, that didn't work. Let's quick load. Let's not fight him so obviously. We don't have the intellect or lore to trick him, it seems. Well, that was fancy. Right, we're trying to trick a 250-year-old elf here. He's probably got some knowledge of poisons. Yeah, let's try this again. Here's the poison you asked for. What are you trying to give me? Poison, naturally. Yeah, that didn't work either. I'd rather not tell him his son's not trying. I'd rather not tell him his son's trying to kill him. So, before we do anything, choking. Before we do anything else, let's go to the Blood Sands and see if we can speak to the one who was going to sacrifice Vela. To see if we can do anything else for this quest. I kind of figured that wouldn't work out as well. That's why we need to really work on Balmung's lore right now. It's not bad. It's not great though. We've probably been putting too much points into survival. But at the same time, survival also allows our potion duration to last longer. Hello.
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara ex Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
You honor me, Grand Inquisitor.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now. We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
We've had a vision of a woman on a rack a long time ago. I forgot how many parts ago. I wonder if this is this Iavara, or if it's just another person. I've been thinking about Thaos a lot today, actually, but we'll continue with this before I start rambling. So this Iavara, how would we reach her?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
I'm not too comfortable about this Thaos, but how would we get my sister to move to Oceanus?
You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Oh hell. You're gonna ask me to betray my own sister, weren't you? And knowing us, we probably did. Yeah, while we're walking here, Thaos is a very interesting character. Obviously, we've dealt with him in a past life. I've been thinking recently. I didn't really want to speak to you yet, but okay. Two identical women seem to fade into view as they move away from the giant trees that camouflage them. Their skin is tree bark, rigid and scaly, wreathed in curling tangle of roots, buds and blossoms. Their hair hangs beneath the shade of serrated leaves like the drooping branches of the elm above, and the pupils of their eyes are encircled by hundreds or even thousands of concentric rings, as if to mark the accumulated wisdom of millennia.
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms.
Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar. An ancient soul, like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fell him and be troubled no more. It would pay the debt of his predecessor.
So it would seem, Rhiannon. But we must not hasten to judgment. I see a different motive here. Different questions in these eyes.
What of it, young trespasser? Is it as my sister says? Or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds?
I seek a man who came through here. It sounds as though you've already met him.
There, by his own admission, Sheetha.
Really, sister? And you wonder why your leaves begin to fall out before midsummer? Clearly that man did not want to be followed. Whatever the relationship here, I suspect it is anything but cordial. The answer is yes, old one. We crossed paths with Thaos not long ago, and we can tell you where he went. But I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why.
We have quite a few reasons why we would want to find him. Stopping him might end Rydrim's legacy, but at the same time I'd like him to fix us from being awakened. Sure, I have a problem and he's the only one who can fix it.
so you do. I should have seen it when you first approached.
We are slipping in our advanced age, sister.
I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake and something once buried deep now wells to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end.
Well, that's not ominous at all. I just need to get to Thaos.
I am sorry to tell you this, but Thaos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
What's she mean? I thought Maywold said... This is... permanent? I'm sorry. We did not come all down this road together to be refused passage by a pair of talking saplings. To be chained to such a past... a bitter and grievous thing, Watcher. So this has all been for nothing? I'm going to lose my mind? It's not even a question. I'm going to lose my mind.
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away?
I would have to, I had to believe in something at least.
You would rather believe in a comforting falsity than accept a hard truth. A common trait among your kind. Endearing in some ways, but it is an obstruction. A lie within a lie. It is only when you face that truth, abandon hope of salvation, and digest its uncompromising absoluteness, that a soul's true nature is laid bare. However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Shiva?
I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
To be fair, death may be preferable to what lies in store for me.
It may, but not all deaths are alike, and the man you pursue is versed in thousands of them.
The man Thaos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is I cannot see any more than you. And without that knowledge, your doom is certain. But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to its end.
My past comes to me in pieces. How do I unlock the rest?
You might wait for it to come on its own, of course. But when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition.
Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
You're talking about Thaos then? Would he remember?
It is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may never forget his charge. If he ever knew, he still does.
Not that he would tell you, of course.
You have followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms. The soul dragging mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Thaos' path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why.
The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
You said you know where he went.
He has gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engwith once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, sun and shadow.
May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. He opened a secret path in the tower's base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
So that would explain the stones cracking. Is there another way to get to him now?
We know of one. On the burial isle, through the court of the penitents, Braeth Yaman. A shortcut, in fact.
But here it comes.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where faiths were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods, it can take you where you want to go.
What do you mean? With the help of the gods?
The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage.
What is this court?
No more than a ruin now. It is older than we. A place for the trial of heretics. We were not here to witness it, but at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods. Neither the first nor the last, of course, but these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below. The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people but for their souls, and their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends.
Interesting. How would I ever get the gods to help me?
Behind us is Teir Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it.
So who would I pray to? Any god you can, I should think.
I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for your sake, the feeling is shared.
And how would I pray? I mean, it's pretty simple, but is there a certain way in the tower?
Teir Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, we know the gods they represent are aligned as well. You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods expect proper homage, and none has patience for fools.
So the only way to get through this pit is to pray for help?
Not the only way. Just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks.
And you're sure there's no other way to get the Thaos?
None.
Okay. I'm glad that was, blunt. I have other questions, perhaps.
Teir Evron is also called the Hall of Stars. You should choose a place to pray
Thank
where
you.
you're closest. What do you wish to know?
Aha. Yeah, actually, that's a good question. How did you know I was pursuing Thaos?
The same way that you are no doubt able to peer into the ether and experience the souls of others. It is something we are born with, some more, some less. A gift common to many creatures of the wilds. You share certain similarities with the man you pursue. For your sake, I pray they are few and of no consequence.
Thank you very much. I could talk to you more, but that's all I really want to speak to you about. Farewell.
Before you go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace?
What would I do? Good question. What choices do we have available to us? Let's have a look. I suppose what would be just is to return him to the wheel of life and death. apparently this Thaos character can die, but his soul is reborn into another child, and then he awakens with all his past memories. I believe that's how his story goes. So returning his soul may not actually do anything, though. We'll go with a Paragon answer. I would wish to undo the harm he's caused.
You would need to have twice as many lifetimes as he to repair his savage work.
Yeah, I figured that'd be the answer. But perhaps there are strides you can make.
All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours. And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned. And it is those that trouble the soul above all others. May you find an answer to yours.
Thank you. Well, that was a long conversation. Pray to the gods in Teir Evron. And a Court of Penance. Travel the Burial Isle. Yeah, we're not going to be travelling the Burial Isle just yet. Oh, the average adventure was completed. Spoils await in the Great Hall. Very nice. Anyhow, as I was talking about Thaos before we started that conversation, I'll end this video very shortly. But yeah, while I was at work today and waiting for the kettle to boil, I was thinking about his character. I'm trying to get my thoughts together again about him. I want to know... I would like to learn why he's against animancy. And learning about how the soul works. Because it seems that that's what he's been doing for all these years. Making people go against the idea of animancy and toying with the soul. Maybe to prevent people from doing something with it. But it's only recently that Wydran's legacy has occurred. It hasn't been a long outbreak. At least I don't think it has been, as I'm guessing at the law. So yeah, I don't know. He's definitely a curious character. I don't like the idea of where it's going, like about what's going to happen to our sister. Obviously, we could have chosen that she was just someone we knew or she was a lover, but we chose the option that she was our sister, and Thaos wasn't pleased at that. I'd say I don't enjoy it because I don't like the connotations it's where it's going. I'm not a great one for torture, obviously, in games. So the idea that we're going to betray and have our own sister tortured is not an idea, not a comfortable idea where this may be going. Actually, we gained a lot of experience for that conversation. Cool. As I say, we'll end this video here. When we come back, we'll go to the Blood Sands and speak to the people there. As a final note to this video, I probably want to apologise to people who may want me just to commit more to my options. Obviously, when we were talking to CMOC, I suppose you may have just wanted me to go through that as it was and accept the consequences of that action. And I do, kind of, with the main storyline quests. I kind of committed them quite well. At least I think so. But with side quests, I'd rather choose... I don't know. More the Paragon choices for this playthrough, but... I don't know. Before I started speaking to these, the Delmengon here, I realised what I did there, and yeah, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, we'll end this video here, and as I say, we'll continue exploring Elm's Reach in the next video. So until next time, this of course is AnthWolf with Pillars of Eternity, and I'll see you all as we continue the series next time. Till then, bye bye now.